What's up everyone? I'm back to share some new information with you about Prey, specifically details about the skull trophy that it wears over its biomask and the creature's biology. There's also some discussion about a possible timeline for Prey 2 if a sequel is made. I was looking for more information about this and I came across the artwork by Michael Vincent. You can find him on Twitter over here. He had the opportunity to design the feral creature and the mask design. This is what he said on Twitter. For those asking what my role on Prey was, I was tasked with the feral predator's creature design and mask design. An honor I'm still wrapping my head around. Gig of a lifetime. The feral emerges. I will forever be grateful for the trust afforded me by Studio ADI to design for this film. Godspeed, Naru. We didn't make it easy for you. When you think about it, getting any type of work connected to a movie truly is a memorable experience, but also an honor. I really do like the design he came up with for the bone trophy and the creature itself. A lot of us are asking this question: how does it see if the bone covers most of the areas where its eyes could be? And there's a very unique explanation for this, which I really admired for its creativity. Well, since Michael Vincent designed the creature, he gave us more information about its physical traits. He said this regarding its vision. Heat-sensitive nodes under bone plates send the data to his network of heat-sensing organs in the frill and compiles into a visual feed to his eyes. Predator, since the first film, has lousy vision when unmasked, at least in our atmosphere. Thicker brow houses heat-sensitive organs, which the mask is designed to interface with. Thinner casque loses less water. So the creature's heat-sensing organs would compile a visual image to his eyes. It's entirely through interface. That's how it can see with the bone trophy blocking any possible eye sockets. It's a very different way of seeing things. The organs pick up the heat signatures. You could say it's almost like how some creatures would use sound waves to get an image of what is ahead of them. Similar concept, but a bit different. The director, Dan Trachtenberg, did give us a preview of this creature's possible origins during past interviews, where he said this: I think this guy's perhaps from a different hemisphere of the planet, and a little bit of a different breed. So even his look is a little new. It's familiar, but new. So I'm excited for people, even for die-hard fans, to really see something they haven't seen before. Michael also gave us more details about the feral predator's diet, which is linked to changes in the mouth. Here's what he said. Bone has a special cultural significance to the feral subspecies, not only their armor, but as a diet staple. A careful look at the mouth reveals molars outfitted for osteophagy. It means the action of when an animal consumes bone. I spent a lot of time making sure that the various mouth parts puzzled together tightly. And it so happens that we just never got a shot with the mouth closed. The mandibles are meant to fit into the jawline like canines. The design of Feral truly is unique and I like it. I'm glad they made something new but still kept some parts connected to what we saw before. So you can say it looks different, but it still looks like a predator in some way. Michael also made a post about the certain aspects of the feral predator's body. This is what he said in his post. Genetic isolation with different environmental pressures yields a variant of Yautja, adapted to a drier climate. Thinner, waxier dreads, thicker oral tissue and scalier skin for moisture retention, favors crushing bite for different diet. Breathes primarily through spiracles in the casque. Not those two big cavities, those are heat-sensitive pits, an adaptation for a less jungly, less oxygenated atmosphere. Feral does come off as being more primal or primitive in this film. The timeline of this story is in 1719, far behind when the other movies took place. Michael added this reply to this topic. I was asked to do a pass on an evolutionary predecessor to Yautja. The final design isn't that, but it was a fun exploration, though I don't think it worked. We spoke of time dilation playing a factor. 300 years distance could be any number of millennia to space-faring creatures. Here's the last bit of information I can find regarding the skull trophy on the mask. Over on Michael's Instagram account, someone said, this design looks like the river ghost from the 2010 movie Predators. I also mentioned this in a previous video, And Michael responded with this: same home worlds, 300 years apart culturally, at least from the human perspective. Argument to be made that time dilation plays a part. So Farrell did visit the game preserve planet sometime in the past to hunt these creatures, but we don't know if he made contact with any super predators at the time. So they could put the predator into almost any timeline and make a story out of it. Dane DeLiegro, who played the feral predator in the movie Prey, did say he was interested in seeing the predator take on a samurai. During an interview on Screen Rant, he said this: "I would love to see Predator battle some samurai. That would be pretty cool. That's a cool era. That's cool armor, and there's a high ceiling for artistic opportunity there, I think." This topic of samurai versus predator did get sent to Michael Vincent on Twitter. He said this regarding this idea: "My wife and I are gunning on this. Predator is the perfect sci-fi Oni. In Japanese mythology and folklore, an Oni is considered to be an evil spirit or a demon. Their size is typically very large, possess superhuman strength, and their appearance is fearful. This description can relate to a predator in some way. There's actually a great story that I covered about a predator versus samurais, which leads into a historical part in Japanese history during the ending. You really should check it out if you like the idea of predator versus samurais." As I read Michael's notes on the feral predator's biology, like its heat-sensing organs, its teeth that are designed for eating bone, and how its primitive look is based on a subspecies culture, I think that's fascinating. Creating a monster or creature for a movie is one thing, but writing up information about its biology, culture, and design is a great addition to the backstory of the character. The last topic I want to add is how much attention and success this movie is getting. Even though it's gone straight to a streaming service without a theatrical release, this movie is getting not only a lot of views, but a lot of praise for the work put into it. Over on Twitter, this is what a few counts linked to Prey had to say. "Prey movie is the #1 premiere on Hulu to date, including all film and TV series debuts. It is also the most watched film premiere on Star Plus in Latin America and Disney Plus under the Star banner in all other territories, based on hours watched in the first 3 days of its release. The deadliest hunt in history makes history. Prey movie is the #1 premiere on Hulu to date." There's a lot of fans and critics that do say it's a decent, good movie. Now, for some people, it might not be perfect, but it's pretty good. I mean, it's up there with the other good films in the franchise. It certainly had a lot of work put into it. Not everyone is going to like it for whatever reason, but I can see more positive points about this movie compared to the few negative things. Now, they have not released their viewership numbers yet, but with these claims they are giving out, this movie really does deserve a sequel. Even though a lot of fans want a different timeline on Earth, I've always wondered why they haven't explored the Predator homeworld even more. That's something I want to see on film someday. Alright, so that covers a bunch of topics for today around the Prey movie. I really did enjoy the movie and I've watched it a few times already. When more information about other topics comes up, I'll make another video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to see more videos around Predator lore in the future. I'll see you next time.